Hey everyone, thank you for being here and welcome to your Vinyasa flow, which is labelled as slightly more intermediate towards the advanced side because I have kind of added in a few options to have a little play around in there today. But as always, there's lots to do. If you're not feeling for that, really we're just looking to kind of move through slightly more traditional postures. So you've got the option to come back to this flow, so you can start to maybe ease your way into other variations if you feel like that, but also finding a little bit of stillness within the body so we can really drop in and start to bring our focus or awareness into this space, into this spot, whilst keeping that steady flow of our breath. So let's get started. We're going to begin seated today. That might be on the knees, or it might be cross-legged, or use your props. If you do have blocks today, please do bring them in, but if not, do not worry. And then come to settle. So you might start to take a few little movements. It's not always easy to come straight to stillness if we've, been rushing, been busy. But as and when you feel ready to, maybe take the shoulders up towards the ears and then glide them all the way down the back with a soft close of the eyes, or if you prefer, take your gaze towards the tip of the nose. Gently seal the lips and find your breath. So again, as we arrive to our practice, the breath might feel a little quicker. So just take a few moments here to slow it down, to just follow your breath. I want to start this practice today by talking about one of our yoga sutras, so these ancient texts. And there are only really 2 yoga sutras that even refer to the asana, to the physical practice. And one of them is Prayatna Saitiya Ananta Samapatti Bhayam. And this roughly means that our yoga postures are mastered through the effort to overcome our state of restlessness. And through that, we are able to relax into our original form. So it is not by doing more that we progress or we build awareness in our physical practice. It is often by doing less. By taking time in the shapes to observe, to really settle our way into the variation that feels supportive, feels right for our bodies in each and every moment. So today, see if you can find your way into any variation that feels like it's working for you. And then see if you can fully stay there, be there, resisting the urge to move, to fidget, to help ease us into this moving meditation. Okay. When you're ready, bring hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra, chin to chest. Take a moment to prepare for that physical practice, to connect to your breath, and to lead with ahimsa, with kindness, with compassion, in both thoughts and actions. Final full breath in. Take a big sigh out. When you're ready, gently flutter the eyes open. We're going to make our way forward, tabletop, so come onto hands and knees, and start with a little bit of awakening for the wrists. So really grip the mat with fingertips, with base knuckles, and then start to just take circles in one direction, so just rolling around one way. Not only easing into the wrists, but noticing through sides of the waist, through the lats, maybe even into the hips, and then taking it back the other way. Good, and then coming back to that neutral position. From here, you're going to see if you can turn either both hands or one at a time, fingertips to face towards the knees. And if you're doing one at a time, I'll cue you when to switch. Tuck your toes under and then start to shift the weight forwards and backwards as you start to wake up through the front of the wrists into the forearms. And if you're doing one at a time, shake out that one hand and switch sides. Good, and then everybody give both hands a little shake out, bring them back to the mat. Keep your toes tucked down, bring the sit bones back towards the heels. So starting to wake up as well into the bottoms of the feet, the toes. Now, if this feels a little bit too much, you can keep the fingertips down, or you could just come a little bit higher up to this kneeling position. Or we're going to slide the hands towards the thighs, lengthen through the spine. And again, we're going to just do a little bit more for the wrists and forearms. So hug your elbows in towards the body, and we're just going to start by flicking the fingers. So start off fairly slow. Maybe we don't feel much to begin with, but maybe it's distracting from that feeling in the toes. And then start to move those flicks a little bit quicker. And instantly I can now feel that. And then we're going to go as fast as we can for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, give it a good shake out. Place the hands back down towards the mat, tap out through the toes. And then once more, just tuck the toes under so you can pick up the knees and walk your way towards the top of your mat. Feet together or hips width. Take an inhale as you lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, come into a little fold. Option today to allow the hands to hang, or you could slide the hands towards the calves, backs of the legs, and just use that as a little kind of bob up and down, chest towards the thighs. Good, release any grip that you had, give the hands a bit more of a shake, and then slowly glide the hands up the body as we come to stand, pushing down through the big toes. As you start to lift, come into Tadasana, so roll the shoulders back, palms face forwards. Start to push down through all 4 corners of the feet, build that awareness through your foundations. Have a little lift of the kneecaps to activate through the quads. Engagement through the glutes, lengthen up through the spine, crown of the head reaching tall, and then the shoulders dropping down and back. One more time, bring the hands to heart center, chin to chest, either a close of the eyes or a soft gaze. Take a big breath in through the nose. Take a sigh out the mouth. Gently seal the lips, Ujjayi Pranayama. So if we work with that in our practice, we have that constriction through the throat. And this breath, we harness it to move through the asana, the physical postures, to help build heat in the body and the muscles. And then by keeping that Ujjayi breath going, we are able to retain that heat. Again, to hopefully find a little bit more ease into that physical practice. When you are ready, gently flutter the eyes open. A couple of variations of Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, sweep the arms up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, dive it down. Inhale, halfway point, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands down, step the right foot and then the left, high plank. Option to lower the knees here or keep them lifted. We're going to hold this first one. So really squeeze into the glutes, belly button in, and check in with the 3 main things we're looking for here. So first, the breath. If it's not flowing, lower the knees, find it slightly less intense variation. Then the bandhas, pull in through Mula Bandha, pelvic floor, Uddiyana Bandha, the core, and then Jala Bandha, our throat lock. And then finally our drishti, our gazing point. So always throughout the practice, focus your gaze. One more breath in, shift the weight forward. And then gently release the knees, chest, chin, or one straight line, come down. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest, squeeze the glutes for baby cobra or cobra. And then exhale, sit bones towards the heels. And then peel your way up, downward facing dog. Take any little movements as you arrive, maybe into your first downward facing dog of the day. And then really push down through fingertips. Lengthen up through the arms, sides of the waist. Your drishti here is back towards the knees, so we're not craning into the neck. And again, just pull in through the belly button. So activate through front of the body and then lengthen and stretch back of the body. Take one more deep breath. And then inhale, come onto the toes, gaze forward, soft knees. You could take a few little steps or step your right foot towards the right thumb and then left foot towards the left thumb. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Inhale, push through the feet, rise all the way up to standing. This time, hook the thumbs when you get to the top. Spread the fingers wide, open through the chest. And then exhale as you dive it down, sweep the arms back, interlace the fingers behind the back. Chest towards the thighs, knuckles overhead. Maybe again, we keep that soft bend in the knees. And again, you could have a little movement, a bob up and down, or a sway side to side. Relax into the back of the head, the neck. And then slowly release that grip. Inhale, come to that halfway point. Lift the chest, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step the left foot and then the right, high plank. This time moving straight through, shift the weight forward, knees all through chaturanga, lower down, elbows in. Inhale for your back bend, cobra or up dog, thighs lifted. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. And re-find your way into that shape. So again, go through your cues, feel yourself like these opposing directions. So pushing the ground away with the hands so we can really lengthen up through the sit bones. And as always, you might have a little bend in the knees. You might have the heels lifted. Good, take a final breath. And then inhale, come onto toes, look forward, soft knees, step your left foot and then the right, top of your mat. Lengthen the spine as we breathe in. We fold as we breathe out. Push down through big toes, rise all the way up. One more time, hook the thumbs, spread the fingers wide, squeeze the glutes. And then exhale, release that mudra. Take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers. Take an inhale now to start to lift the chest, bend the knees. So find this little kind of half chair position. Try and sit back into the heels and then reach crown of the head forward. Option to come onto the toes. Ooh, very shaky today. Lifting the heels high. Good. Find your drishti, gaze straight ahead, a focal point. One more breath in. Breathe out, lower the heels, lower the hands, fold. Inhale, lifts the chest halfway. Exhale, plant hands, step or float your way back through your vinyasa, chaturanga, or through the knees. Inhale, roll those shoulders back, and exhale back, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in through the nose. And a full breath out through the nose. Ujjayi breath. So if we lose it throughout the practice, take moments to pause to bring it back. Okay, when you're ready, inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, look forward, step your right foot towards your right thumb. Come into a high lunge, so gaze forward first and then rise up. Rolling back through the shoulders, try and close the space between the rib cage and the hips. That might mean that you pop a little bend in your back knee. Lengthen up through fingertips, breathe in. Breathe out, arrow, so send the arms back, the chest forward. Reach that crown of the head. Inhale, come back into your high lunge, and then exhale, start to shift your weight into your right foot. Lean forward for standing split. So see if you can float the hands to blocks or to the mat. Lengthen your left leg up high. Try and bring chest towards your right thigh. Option to stay here, or if you would like a little bit more balance challenge, come onto fingertips. Maybe float the arms alongside the body, sides of the waist, reaching the fingertips up and back towards your left foot. Good, hold it there. Take a final breath. And then start to bend into your right knee, hands or no hands. Left foot steps to meet the right, bend the knees, top of your mat. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Connect the palms this time, squeeze the glutes, open chest. Exhale, dive it down. Inhale, halfway point, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step or jump your way back through your vinyasa, knowing that you can also skip at any point to reset that breath. We arrive back in downward facing dog, and we're going to take that straight to the other side. So inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, gaze forward, left foot steps towards that left thumb. Come onto fingertips, start to rise all the way up. Reach the arms up, high lunge. Again, have that little check-in. Try and tilt the pelvis forward, close the space in the front of the body. And then relax the shoulders down, reach the fingertips up. Find your focus, breathe in. Breathe out, shift the weight forward, arms back. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, preparing for that standing split. So bring your weight into your left foot. See if you can float the arms to blocks or to mat. And then extend your right leg up towards the sky. Chest maybe coming towards your left thigh. You can always keep a bend in your left leg. You might stay there. You might See if you can get a moment to hold the hands. Maybe you take the arms alongside the body, but keep reaching your right toes up. Good, last breath. And then slow as we can, start to bend into both knees so you can step your right foot to the top of the mat. Knees bent. Inhale, start to come all the way up to stand. Reach the arms up. This time, exhale, bring the hands to heart. Come back into your chair, Utkatasana. Bend through the knees, lengthen through the spine, so a little tilt of the pelvis. Inhale, exhale, fold. Hands towards the mat. Option to take it straight back through your vinyasa, or Bakasana play, planting the hands down, knees to triceps, shift the weight forward, maybe lift one foot, maybe lift the other, squeezing the inner thighs towards each other. Keep your gaze slightly ahead rather than down. Have a little play around, see what happens. You can always bring a cushion underneath the head. Good, 2 more deep breaths. If you're holding your Bakasana, try and find that stillness. And then, however you want to get there, maybe we jump it back, lower down. It might be more, as always, a little stumble sometimes. And we meet back, downward facing dog. Good, reset there. So again, find all of those cues. Lengthen up through the armpits, through sides of the waist. Find the breath. Good, from here, start to turn your left heel in, right leg lifts. Breathe in. Breathe out, look forward, step your right foot towards the right thumb, warrior 1. So with that back heel in, sweeping the arms up. Lengthen through the spine. You could have arms wide or palms together, maybe gaze lifts. And as you breathe into the shape, see if you can then find that stillness in the body. Keep rotating your right hip back in space. Push through your back pinky toe. Good, last breath in and out. And taking it straight to warrior 2. So start to open out to your left, maybe lengthening your stance. You could bring the arms down and then take them out wide, strong through the fingertips, relax through shoulders. Maybe today that front thigh comes towards being parallel with your mat. Squeeze your right glute so the right knee tracks roughly over middle toes. Drishti over the front middle finger. Good, take 1 more deep breath. Inhale, flip your front palm, reverse your warrior. Left hand slides down the left leg. Either stay in there or take your bind, bringing the left hand behind the back. Really opening into the right side body. Relax the head, try and keep that bend through your right knee. And again, see if you can find a moment of stillness. It might be a bit shaky. Good. If you've got the bind, you could keep it here. Start to straighten through your right leg. Come all the way up to neutral. Reach your right arm forward. You might want to bring that left foot back in. And then inhale, reach. Try and keep left shoulder open. Exhale, just bring your right hand to the inside of your right thigh or right calf. See where it gets to whilst you keep that left shoulder open. Maybe gaze over that left shoulder. Good, take a final breath. Inhale, reach your left arm up now, Trikonasana. Try and keep length through sides of the waist, pull up through your right kneecap. Option, take a breath to lift the right toes, to activate more into that right leg. Whew, that's fiery. And then if you lifted the toes, land, come back into your warrior 2, rebend into your right knee. Good, just 1 breath this time. And then bring your right forearm to thigh, sweep your left arm forward and open into Uttita Parsvakonasana, so extended side angle. Either stay here, creating all that length through the left side of the body. You could bring right hand to the inside or outside of the foot, or again, you could bind, taking left arm behind, right arm under. Really root down through both feet, roll your left shoulder back. Activity through the legs, and then again, find the breath. Good, last one. If you took the bind, release. Slowly come all the way back up, warrior 2. This time, circle your left arm forward. You might want to heel toe your back foot in. We come back into a high lunge. So reach open through the arms. Inhale. Exhale, bring the hands to heart. Inhale, actively twist to your right, and then exhale, maybe we hook that left elbow over the right thigh. Good, you can always lower the back knee here. If you're keeping it lifted, push through your heel. Option to stay here. You could open the arms out, or you could take that bind, wrap in your left arm in front, right arm behind. Good, really active through your back leg as well as the front. Good, stay with it if we can. Just breathe into the shape. Trust you can hold it for one more. And then wherever we are, unravel. Place your hands to the inside of your right foot. Take an inhale. Exhale, just start to straighten through your right leg for a moment. So you could bring hands to blocks here. Just release through the front of your right leg into your right hamstring. And then inhale, rebend into your right knee. A couple of options as we take it back. So you might stay here for a few breaths, moving forwards and backwards. If you would like to have a play, you're going to bring your hands behind, your right hand behind your right heel for our Ekapada Vinyasa. So flying splits. Maybe you come onto your right toes. Really try and wedge your right shoulder underneath the thigh. Maybe you lift the foot and stay there. Maybe shift the weight forward, make that shelf. Maybe float the legs. Gaze forward, keep the chest lifted. And then find your transition. So you could lower the back toes, sweep your right leg up high, and then you could keep that leg lifted for your vinyasa or bring it down. One straight line, inhale into your up dog, open chest, and exhale back downward, facing dog. Good, again, find your gaze between the knees, relax the head, push the ground away. And then maybe turn your right heel in first. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, gaze forward, left foot steps. Find your stable grounding and then rise up into your Virabhadrasana A, Warrior One. Palms together or arms separate, maybe that gaze lifts. See if you can actively push down through your back pinky toe and rotate your right hip forward. If that doesn't work for you, you can always lift your right heel. Ease into the shape, use in your breath. Good, final one. Take an inhale. Exhale brings us out, Warrior Two. So maybe a little longer in your stance. And again, option to float the arms down and then extend them out long and wide, spreading across the chest. Gaze forward over that front middle finger. Really active through both feet here. And again, maybe that front thigh comes to being somewhere near parallel with the mat. Good. Squeeze into that left glute, active through the hips. And then inhale, flip your front palm, reverse your warrior. So legs stay exactly the same as Warrior Two, we just open through the upper body. You might stay there, you might take your bind, right hand behind the back or towards your left thigh. Again, just make sure the gaze is soft. If it feels comfortable, you could look towards your left hand. Good, take a final deep breath. And then slowly we're going to start to straighten that left leg. Heel toe your back foot in a little if that feels better. Reach your left arm forward as you breathe in. As you breathe out, only thing that changes is that left hand lowers, back of the hand towards the inner thigh, inner calf, maybe ankle, but keep your right shoulder open. Good, finding your half bind here. Use that to roll the chest open, super active through the obliques. And then inhale, reach your right arm up. Option for these final moments, lift your left toes to pull up through your left kneecap. If you lifted the toes, release them back down. The inhale brings us back, Warrior Two. So lead with the arms, bend into your left knee. From here, take one breath. And then lower left forearm down towards left thigh. Sweep your right arm forward. Utthita Pajvakonasana. If we're staying with the forearm on thigh, think about all of that energy from right fingertips to the right pinky toe. So super active through the sides of the waist. Maybe we stay there today, creating space between the ears and shoulders. You could bring left hand to block or to mat. Try not to compromise on rounding the spine. You could take half bind or full bind. Good. Maybe gaze over that right shoulder. Check in with that breath. Can we hear the breath? Can we slow it down as we hold these challenging shapes? Good. Unravel if you had a bind. Bring it back. Warrior two. Ooh, give it a shake if you need. Again, you might heel toe the back foot in as we come back into a high lunge. So sweep your right arm forward. Come onto your back toes. Roll the shoulders back. Take a big breath in. Exhale, bring the hands to heart. And take an inhale there. And then exhale, find your twist. So maybe hooking our right elbow over the left thigh. If you're keeping your back knee lifted, push through the heel. Really try and rotate using that elbow towards the thigh. Maybe gaze over left shoulder. Option to stay here. You could open the arms out. You could take left arm behind the back, right arm under for that bind. Maybe grabbing left wrist or fingertips. Bend as low as we comfortably can. Active through that left glute as well. So really working into lower body, finding that stability. Let's take one more breath. If you had a bind, start to unravel. Release the hands to the inside of your left foot. Take an inhale, maybe shift the weight slightly forward. Exhale, begin to straighten your left leg. Ooh, give it a little shake if you need. You could bring hands to blocks, or you could just keep a bend in your left knee. Keep pulling that left hip back in space. Keep reaching crown of the head forward. And then start to bend into your left knee. So again, little lizard prep, so you could shift forwards and backwards. You can stay here. Or if you would like to have a little play with your flying splits, bring the hands down, tuck your left shoulder underneath your left thigh. Left hand behind the left heel. Maybe you start by coming onto the left toes and you could stay there today. Or maybe you lift your left foot, bend the elbows, chaturanga arms, shift the weight forward. You can keep that back foot down or lift. You can use both arms as a shelf for the body or use just your left arm. Good, keep lifting the chest. You can extend that leg out if you haven't got a wall in the way like me. And then when you're ready, your transition. So lower the back toes, sweep your left leg up high. Inhale. Exhale, ripple forward. Lower halfway. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Full breath in. Use the exhale to ease the weight back. And then lower the knees down towards the mat. Untuck the toes for a moment. Come to sit back on the heels. Lengthen the spine. Come back to the breath. Okay, your options now. You might come into child's pose. You might come into your puppy pose or dolphin. So I'll cue dolphin. If you want to take rest, use this time to, again, just really slow that breath down. If you're coming into dolphin, either arms parallel or palms together. Tuck the toes. Start to lift the hips. Maybe walking those feet in. We can stay here. You could take drills, shifting the head forwards and backwards. If you have Pinchamayurasana in your practice, you might take gentle hops. You could come up to a wall here. Maybe getting a moment to float the legs. Maybe. Getting a few breaths in a hold. Good, coming down or changing your posture whenever you are ready. If Pincha is something you're working towards, I do have a movement breakdown on the Rise app. There's some tips and some drills in there to help us get there if that's what we're looking to do. Okay, when you're ready, Vinyasa if you would like it, so you can push through the hands, shift forward, chaturanga, lift, downward facing dog. Good. From here, take an inhale, come high onto toes, look forward, soft knees, step, hop or float to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back, lengthen spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Reach the arms up at the top. And then exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Okay, a little bit of balance. Root down through your right foot, bring your right hand to your right hip. Start to come onto your left toes. Activate through your bandhas, so feel this energy through the front of your body. Squeeze your right glute. Start to draw your left knee in towards you. Option 1, take your left hand around the shin. Option 2, two-piece fingers around the big toe. Try and keep that length through spine, shoulders back. Breathe in. Breathe out, take that leg to the side. Again, the knee can be bent. Maybe have a little gaze over right shoulder. Inhale, bring it back to center. Exhale, release. So if you had the knee bent, extend, actively lifting through your left leg. Try not to lean back. Good, hold it if we can, one more. And then bend the knee. Start to send that left leg back, warrior 3. So you could keep hands to hips. You could bring hands to heart. You could reach the arms forward. You could point or flex your back toes. Just try and turn that foot towards the ground. Good, one more breath in. And then start to bend into your right leg as you land your left toes and your left heel. Inhale, sweep the arms up, straighten both of the legs. Exhale, pivot to your left. Okay, toes in, heels out. Take a big breath in to reach the arms up, maybe a little back bend. Exhale, bring the hands to heart and come to that halfway point in your fold. So send the hips back, crown of the head forward. Take a big breath in. And then exhale, coming into your fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. So just adjust the feet however you need to. Toes slightly pointing in, heels out. And then from here, you can come into a fold, you can use the breath, you can have movements. If you have a comfortable tripod headstand, you could bring crown of the head down to the mat. If we're near a wall, you can use that as well. For tripod as well, maybe you bring one knee to one tricep, the other knee to the other tricep, and you might stay there today, or extend the legs up. If you're not feeling for the inversion, we stay in our fold. Again, just choose the shape, really commit to it, be comfortable that you've chosen the right place to be for you today. Good. If you're inverting slowly, you could take the feet straight back down. You could bring knees back to triceps. If you wanted a little playtime there, you could come into your Bakasana and then bring the head back down. So if you want to have a play with that, go for it. Or just step the feet back. And then we will all come to meet back in our fold. And then inhale, find length through the chest halfway. Exhale, walk the hands around to frame your right foot and then turn all 10 toes forward. Slowly from here, lower your back knee, coming into your low lunge. You could use blocks here, especially for this next bit, super handy. Just take a few breaths as you come forwards and backwards. Prepping for our Hanumasana, so you might stay in a half split today, pulling that right hip back in space, chest forward. If you would like to, you could start to step your right heel forward, maybe stepping your left knee back, and you might stay there with hands on blocks. If you are working towards your splits or Hanumasana, I would recommend keeping your back toes tucked, and then you could play with these drills of lifting your back knee to really work into the glute, the hip flexor. And again, just choose where you need to be today and then see if you can stay in that space, in stillness. Obviously, if there's any pain or discomfort, come out of it. But if it feels okay to hold, just breathe into it. And this is just patience, just, these postures just take practice and waiting. Okay, once we've had enough, there's really no elegant way to get out of this one. So just slide that right foot towards you. Land your right foot back to the mat. Tuck your back toes. Little option for a transition, so pop your blocks to the side if you're using them. We're going to see if we can come straight to standing split. So look forward, land the foot, float your left leg high. And then whatever you would like to do from there. So we hold our standing split, or you could take a few little handstand hops. Again, if you're near a wall, Might be super handy, gazing down. Maybe we get a mini hold. Some days it's there for me, some days it's just not. And then for your transition from here, you can step it back, or we're going to see if we can take a little bounce off the right leg, maybe float the legs, land on the right foot, keep that left leg lifted, and flow through your vinyasa, meeting back for a breath in our downward facing dog. And then inhale, come onto the toes, gaze forward, step, hop or float your way top of the mat. Lift the chest, breathe in. Breathe out, fold. Inhale, rise all the way to stand. Reach the arms up, hands to heart. Okay, take it to the left side. Take a moment to slow the breath. Very warm in here. I feel like I'm literally directly in the sun, which I'm not complaining about, but okay. Left hand comes to left hip. Start to engage through front of the body. Come onto your right toes. Draw your right knee in towards you. Maybe you grab the shin today. Maybe you take the two peace fingers around the toes. Lengthen through the spine. Good. Try and pull the shoulders back. You can have a little bend in that leg that's lifted. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take that leg out to the side. Maybe gaze to your left. Good. Inhale back to center. If you've got the knee bent, you're going to straighten it, and everybody bring hands to hips. Keep lifting, keep lengthening the spine. Try not to lean back. And bend the knee. Never gets easier, that one. Root down through your left foot. Take your time. Shift your gaze slightly down and ahead for warrior three. Send that right leg behind you. Choose to flex or point the toes. And then choose your arm position. Little lift of the chest. Try and turn your right foot down towards the mat. Good. Take a final big breath. And land your right toes and your right heel. Straighten left leg. Reach the arms up, take a big stretch. And then pivot to the right side of your mat. Okay, toes in, heels out. So find your prasarita stance. Your option, I'm going to give you a few options for this one. So keep the arms lifted. Take the arms out wide. Breathe in. Open the chest. Breathe out halfway. Good, hold. Option here, you could take Prasarita C, interlacing the hands behind the back, and then big inhale and exhale to fold. Draw in your pinky fingers towards the ground. With every breath, just softening and folding. If you would like to invert once more, another option for your headstand is to walk the hands through the legs. So you're on all the fingers, fingertips facing backwards. Maybe crown of the head comes down. And then if it feels safe and comfortable, you could push down through fingertips and then start to float the legs. So hoping that makes sense, because you can't really see. And then come into this variation of your headstand where you are just using the fingertips. If that feels good, it's something to play around with. If not, we stay in the fold or any other inversion. You could also place the hands flat as well to do that one. So I'll quickly show you from the side. So the head's down, hands are flat or onto fingertips, and then maybe a little lift. Okay, last few breaths if you're folding, if you're inverting. Take your time, there's no rush. And then slowly starting to think about making our way down. Bring the fingertips in front, take an inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, walk the hands to frame your left foot, lower your back knee, coming into your low lunge. So again, you might want to grab your blocks here. Decide where you'd like to be for the next few breaths. Shifting the weight forwards and backwards. And then you can stay in your low lunge. You can stay in your half split, or see if this side feels any different. Chances are it might. Wiggle your back knee back. And again, I'd keep the back toes tucked. And then you could have a few drills of lifting your back knee, really activating the hip flexor and the glute. And then find a place that we're able to hold without straining, without, gritting the teeth. And then take your deep breaths, softening with every exhale. And over time, some days it's going to feel easier than others, but we might just start to notice these little millimeters of space opening up very slowly and gradually without pushing. There is no rush. Hopefully, we're all going to be doing yoga forever, so take your time. Okay, slowly start to draw left leg back towards you. Plant the left foot down. Again, you can do whatever you would like to here, or we see if we can lean back into that half split, land the foot, come into your standing split. Time to play around. You could stay in the balance, you could come into a forward fold, or take some little hops. I'm not going to do it this side because my left side is, there I am doing it, is a lot weaker and I don't want to land on a plant or on the wall. But just give it a few kicks if you would like to. If not, stay where we are. Good. From here, your transition. So you could take a little bounce off that left leg. Maybe land the left foot. Keep the right leg lifted for your vinyasa. Come into your back bend. And we come back, downward facing dog. We made it. Take a full breath in, full breath out. And we're just going to bring it through to seated. So look towards top of your mat, bend the knees, step or jump your way through. Give the legs a bit of a shake out. And then from here, just take a moment, really flex through the feet, lengthen through the spine. And then we're going to inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, Paschimottanasana, reach forward. Either grabbing outsides of the feet, the legs, or if you prefer, hands alongside the body. Look towards the big toes, pull the chest forward. You could softly bend the knees. Start to release, start to surrender. Just like with all of those, more active postures, same thing comes towards the end of practice. Just allow the breath to guide you into slowly releasing. Good, 2 more there. Slowly start to lift the chest. Make sure you've got some space behind you. And then keep the feet flexed. Inhale, reach the arms forward. Exhale, start to roll back. Keep the feet connected to the ground even if they slide. Slowly rolling. Once your lower back connects, we're going to hold. So gaze towards your belly button here. Keep pushing your lower back into the mat. Keep flexing your feet. Pull the belly button in towards the spine. And we breathe here for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Release. Bring the soles of your feet to the mat. Take a little wiggle side to side. Choose your final posture. So I'm going to cue today a back bend, either bridge or wheel, chakrasana. If you would prefer your inversion, your shoulder stand sequence, then please feel free to just use this time to end your practice however feels good. If you're coming into your back bend, soles of the feet down, start to squeeze the glutes, tilt the pelvis towards you and lift the hips. Imagine drawing the thighs towards each other and then tilting the pelvis towards you, either staying in your bridge or you could bring the hands down, maybe a moment on crown of the head and then push up into your wheel. Really pushing the chest through that space. Again, drawing the inner thighs towards each other. Relax into the head and neck if you're in that wheel. If you're in bridge, keep focusing on that breath in the front of your body. If you're in your inversion, really take your time, just go through your sequence, really deciding how you want to, or how you need to end your practice to give us the best chance of fully relaxing in Shavasana. When you're ready, we'll end with our twist, so you could take the arms out wide. Any variation of a twist today, you might just allow the knees to drop to the right lazily and then head right or left. And then just release all of those cues that we looked for in that physical practice. So release the breath control. Release the bandhas, the energy locks, the activation through the body. Just be soft. Take up space with your breaths. And then release the drishti, the gaze. So maybe close the eyes or a soft gaze to the tip of the nose. And then whenever you're ready, inhale through center. Exhale, allow the knees to fall to the left, head maybe to the right. And just start to let go. Let go of anything that happened or didn't happen in our physical practice. Let go of what may have happened before we came to the mat. Just drop into this space. Relax the whole body. When you're ready, coming back to center, taking any final postures, movements, feel free to pause the video here and take your time. And then we will come down to our final rest. So choose where you would like to end your practice, whether it's feet together, feet on the mat, or legs extended. You could rest hands on the body or arms by the sides. Allowing the eyes to close. We take a final collective breath together in through the nose. Hold at the top. Open mouth. Release. Allow everything to relax. See if you can invite in a sensation of weightlessness, of floating. And just listen. Listen to your breath, or any sounds. And maybe over time, those sounds become quieter and quieter, and we find moments of space between the thoughts. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.